Hi, today we're doing some carnivore meal prep for November. It is carnivore month for me, and I'm going to do some basic prep. Some of it will be good for those of you doing the beef, bacon, and butter, egg thing. You'll know what that is. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas. If you're new here, please check out some of my other videos. Consider becoming a subscriber. Welcome back to all the regular viewers. Okay, I'm getting ready for November. It is, I have a busy week ahead. I want to make sure I've got enough things in the fridge that I can grab and go. So I'm starting with bacon. I'm going to basically fill up my fridge with a few things: bacon, eggs. I'm making a carnivore pizza today. I'm making some butter mayo. Teddy is also excited because Teddy loves carnivore meal prep day because there's so much meat. So I might have to shoo him off so he doesn't disturb too much of the video. Because he's just so excited. He can smell things that I've been working on here. So, but we're gonna get started in 1 sec. I'm just gonna grab some scissors. Okay, so I've got 2 packs of bacon here. I'm going to oven bake my bacon. It's really easy then to grab it and use it for things. I'm hoping to fit it both these packages on one tray because I want to put the pizza on that tray. So I should be able to do it. I like to fold my bacon in half. Let's get rid of that. So I have the oven set to 375. And this is just regular sliced bacon. It's not the thick cut or anything. What I do is I put it in the oven at 375 and then I check it about every 15 minutes. I drain off the fat if necessary. I save the fat for cooking, and I will show you my little bacon container that I save everything in. With any luck, I'll get both of these packs on this one tray. That would be super. You can put it really close together because they will shrink, and then it'll seem like there's room for more after that. All right, looks like I'm getting them all on except for 2 pieces, and that's okay. I will have those for breakfast tomorrow. I will just throw them in with some eggs. But I have pretty much a full tray there. All right, the oven is ready. I am going to put it in. And like I said, I'm going to check it every 15 minutes or so. Okay, so I am now going to make some bacon mayo. I have not made bacon mayo.
I'm sorry, no, can we start that again? Yeah.
I'm going to make butter mayo while we're waiting for the bacon. So I have not made that before. This is the first time. I've made bacon mayo a few times, but not butter. I saw it on 2 Crazy Ketos, and I will link that down below. And a lot of people that I know are doing the BBBE, or bacon, butter, beef, and eggs. I don't know which order. Probably beef, butter, bacon, eggs. Doesn't matter. BBBE. And butter mayo is something you can have on that. And I figured, well, you know, it's perfectly legit for carnivore as well. It's got 2 egg yolks and butter and a little bit of salt, a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Before anybody messages me or leaves a comment, I'm not a purist. I do carnivore, but I will put in, you know, a little bit of lemon or spices or apple cider vinegar where it's needed. I just don't use those things gratuitously when I'm doing carnivore. I try to keep things at a minimum, but you'll get no dogma from me about whether or not this is considered carnivore. to me it's carnivore. So I'm just gonna grab my butter. So this is 1 cup of butter. Just a tip for those that are in my area of Langley, BC, the Langley Costco has got the grass-fed butter again. I may or may not have bought 16 pounds. I'll be set for a while. So this is 1 cup in here. I microwaved it and I had it in the fridge because I wanted it to cool down. I only microwaved 1 cup for 1 minute. And I was surprised, like I thought that would partially melt it, but it's still a little bit warm to the touch. But I'm going to drizzle it in very slowly once I emulsify the eggs. So this recipe that the 2 crazy ketos did calls for 1 cup butter, 2 egg yolks. So I'm going to put the egg yolks in my jar here. You do need one of these blenders, although they did say you could do it by hand with a whisk. I just think I'm going to use the blender. I was just imagining my arm getting kind of sore there. They also said you could use lemon juice and or apple cider vinegar for a total of 2 teaspoons. I'm going to go with all apple cider vinegar. And 1/2 teaspoon of Redmond's fine salt, real salt. So we'll do that. And the vinegar. And I've got just a little mason jar. Just kind of looking. Hopefully it all fits in there. I should have thought of that before, but oh no. Oh, I forgot one ingredient. I'm using spicy brown mustard, the Primal Kitchen. You can use any type of mustard. I've used yellow mustard before for mayo. Dijon would be good. Okay. Now we're ready to emulsify. Okay, you can see it's kind of thickening up and changing color. It's looking good. The key with any mayo is to do it slowly and be patient. So far, so good. Just want to stir. I don't know if it matters. I'm getting some settling at the bottom.
I was really excited to get my 16 pounds of butter. More excited than I should be.
We're in the home stretch here. All right. Wow, this is looking good. It's mayonnaise. That's awesome. Okay, I didn't bring a spatula over here with me. I'll just scrape that off as best I can. There are people watching, so I can't exactly just lick this off. Although I would if I could. Oh, it's really good.
I should unplug it first if I'm going to lick it off. Important safety tip. Before putting your tongue in there, unplug it.
I'll just use a spoon. I'm gonna have some mess here to clean up, but boy, this looks good. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Hang on a second here. Let's go right in there. All right, what am I gonna do with all this mayo? I will show you. I've got a couple of bags of eggs in the fridge. I've never bought bags of eggs. I always cook my own, but these were on sale. They were just too cheap to ignore. And so I just bought 2 bags. I wanted to try them. I'm gonna try one right now. See what a bagged egg tastes like. I usually use my dash cooker and I make eggs that, I like them medium cooked. So these, of course, are going to be completely hard boiled. And mayonnaise is a must. Ooh, there's a little shell on one of them. Definitely have to have mayonnaise for this. So let's give it a try. Yep, that's hard. Hard as a rock. But mayonnaise should make it better. See, I can even leave this at work in the fridge, or just grab a couple before I leave for work. Have my little mayonnaise, you know, put some in a little container, take it to work with me, and I am good. This is perfect for carnivore, keto, BBBE, not PSMF. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this up and then we'll get started on the pizza. Okay, so I poured off the bacon grease in my little canister here. It's got a screen on top to catch any bits, although some bits still do get in there. If you really wanted to do a good job, you could use a coffee filter or something. So this was 15 minutes. I'm turning over my bacon. I will have to pour off more grease when it's done, like the next 15 minutes. It won't be done. I usually make these fairly crisp. We're off to a good start here. I'm going to put it in for another 15 minutes, pour off again. Going back in the oven. Okay. All right, I'm gonna make the pizza now. I'm going to make the crust protein sparing. I'm just going to use the egg white and water version because it's faster and I've got, you know, I'm doing all this prepping. I am also going to scale back the ingredients because it is for carnivore. So I am going to have in here the egg white powder, water, some salt. I am going to use a little bit of yeast because this is a pizza and I kind of wanted to give it a yeasty dough. But I figure a tablespoon of yeast, actually I'm making half the recipe, so a half a tablespoon of yeast for a big pizza. I'm not bothered by that. So let's get started on it. I'm going to, now I have with Maria Emmerich's recipe, I have cut back on the protein powder, even with this water only one, just because I find it, for me personally, I like it a little bit less dry. And I find that does it for me. And I think depending on the conditions of your kitchen and your palate and, you know, all the other variables, just tweak it to the, you know, the way that it tastes good to you. So I'm putting in a half a cup of powder, egg white powder. And I am putting in, this is a half a tablespoon measure of yeast. You can leave this out though. I want some cream of tartar and some salt. I forgot my teaspoon, quarter teaspoon of each of these, the cream of tartar and salt. No allulose, not putting in any sweetener. It's just going to be a pizza crust, so it doesn't really need to, I don't care if it browns or not. I'm good with that. I need one of these guys. Just gonna grab my water. Some people in my last video when I was playing with the no raw egg white protein bread, you're asking me about the temperature of the water. I don't honestly know. It was never mentioned by anyone that I know of yet. So I just went with tepid. So it's not hot, it's not cold, it's just kind of, I guess, room temperature. Oh, first I'm gonna just stir up the ingredients a bit. Okay, so I've got my shield here because I got splashed in the face last time. Now this shield is designed for the metal bowl that came with it, so it doesn't fit 100%, but it fits enough that I think I can manage to do this without getting splashed, hopefully. This is going to go for 5 minutes. I think it's ready. All right, that didn't even take 5 minutes actually. And I didn't get splashed. Gotta be happy about that. So I don't know if you've tried the no egg white bread yet. But I do find the dough is actually stiffer and more stable, so I don't think things like xanthan gum are needed. Not even sure if the cream of tartar is needed. Maybe I'll try a batch without that. But I kind of thought I would just use it the way it was presented on Maria's YouTube channel, which I will link that below so you can go see exactly how she made it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it in here. I'm making a big square rectangular pizza, and I'm going to put it in the oven for about 10 minutes just for the crust to sort of get a little bit firm. Then I'm going to put all my toppings on it. So remember, this was just half a recipe of the bread recipe that I used. I could have made the whole recipe and then made, some buns or another loaf of bread. But I'm up to my ears. I've been doing so many experiments the last few days. I mean, I got a giant bag of buns and bread in the freezer. I decided I'm just gonna make exactly what I need and no more today. That is for the bacon. It's done its next 15 minutes. I'm just going to turn that off. I've also turned down the oven to 325. It's okay for the bacon to, bake at 325. It can stay in there for as long as I need it to get crispy. I'm just putting some Italian seasoning on. I've run out of my favorite. Still haven't had a chance to drive into Vancouver. This is just, for those of you in Canada, this is President's Choice. Never tried it before. This is my first time. It's the kind that grinds. So just gonna sprinkle that over my crust. Get some Italian flavor going on there. And that's going in the oven for 10 minutes. I'm just waiting for it to cool down slightly. It shouldn't take long. While I'm waiting, I will tell you, I'm going to put some ricotta cheese. This is 1 cup of ricotta cheese mixed with an egg. I'm going to put that on the pizza. This is a carnivore pizza, don't forget. So I'm only using animal products on here. If you are dairy free, I guess leave out the cheese, leave out the ricotta cheese. You could just put meat on here. I've done that before. I have some cheese that I took out of the freezer. I don't even know what kind it is, but I've grated it already, so I'm gonna use that up. I have some pepperoni. And I have some sausage meat that I got from the butcher that was gluten-free, so there's no breadcrumbs or wheat crumbs in there. It's just meat and spices. So that's always a good place to check, is your butcher. If you have trouble finding clean ingredient sausage, they often make their own right on site, right in-house. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna throw this in the oven, probably for 10 minutes, and I'm going to take out the bacon and drain it. Boy, I'm probably going to end up with at least 1 cup of bacon grease from all this, which is nice. Okay, so putting that back in the oven. I'm not even going to flip them this time. They're looking pretty good. I'll just let that go for as long as needed. All right, so this is partially cooked, which is what I wanted. I just wanted a sturdy surface to spread some stuff out on. So I'm going to do that. And then it's going back in the oven. So this is basically like a white sauce, but it's not really a sauce. It's ricotta cheese and an egg, so it'll kind of set. But you could make a white sauce. If you're keto, you can do some Mayo sauce. You can put all kinds of things on here. I am sticking to the animal products of cheese, cream, anything that comes from an animal. And that's what this will accomplish. Okay, so I've got the base on there. I'm going to put some pepperoni and my sausage. I like these little mini pepperonis. There's no perfect pepperoni out there. Just get the cleanest one you can. This one is good with carbs, like it's fairly low carb compared to some of them. They're so tiny though, so it's going to take a few minutes to cover this thing up. Also, for those of you that are doing lean carnivore days, this is not your recipe for that. Lean carnivore is usually things that would be, say, about 10% or less of fat. So you'd be looking at lean proteins like shrimp, turkey breast, chicken breast, fish. There's lean beef, like I would make flank steak or tenderloin. Steaks or roasts that have very little fat are perfect for lean days. Regular carnivore days are, bacon and eggs and carnivore pizza. But I'll be showing you probably some different days throughout the month of kind of what I have in a day type videos. I get a lot of requests for those, and I don't mind doing them. If you don't mind seeing how I look at 5 in the morning, because that's when my day starts. So that's probably enough pepperoni. I'm going to put on some of this sausage meat. You could put some chopped bacon on here. That would be good. Different cheeses, whatever kind of cheese you like. Now for some cheese. It smells like Havarti cheese. I think it's Havarti cheese with some little bits of jalapeno in it. So a lot of times if I have too much cheese in the fridge, I'll grate it up and freeze it so that it doesn't go bad. Looks like that's what I did with this. So of course I forgot to label it. That's what it is. When I pulled it out, I thought it was mozzarella, but that's okay. It's cheese. It'll be good. It'll melt. All right. I want to use up some of this too. I shouldn't buy these big things from Costco because I don't know how long I've had this.
I don't even want to look to see if it's expired.
No, it hasn't. But these things just last too long for me. I should just get a little one next time. I'm not measuring, so don't ask me for the macros. I don't count my macros on carnivore. I really don't. Yeah, it's a good break for me because counting macros is painful. You need to use a good app like Carb Manager. I recommend. I know a lot of people use Cronometer. I've never tried that, but maybe I will. But definitely, yeah, I don't think about it on carnivore, and with November being the busiest month of the year for me at work, I'm not going to count macros. Just not. It's just too much, and give myself a break. And also it starts to get busy just because of other things, you know, holiday season and Christmas coming. So yeah, this provides great freedom for me. So I'm just going to pop this back in the oven. I will check it in about 10 minutes and see how it's doing. Oh, I'm going to take those other things out. Where's my gloves? Bacon is coming out for another drain. Some of it's already done. In fact, I think I'm going to call this done. Okay. It looks like about half the bacon is done and half isn't quite done. I like my bacon. This is almost too crisp, these really dark ones. I kind of like my bacon more like, yeah, these ones are good. There was actually 2 different brands in there, so that probably is why there's about half are they're different colors. Very interesting. So I usually just do this and, you know, let it soak up some of the excess and let it cool down. Luckily, none of my sons are around today, or this would be half gone already. We have bacon. So here's my little bacon grease container. There's a good, I would say there's at least a cup of bacon grease in there. So yeah, I'll just leave that on the counter. This is always on the counter. I had it empty since the summer though. In the summertime, we had a couple of real bad heat waves here, and I looked in there one day and the bacon grease that I had in there had gone off, and so I cleaned it out and I thought, okay, I'm not going to use it again until the weather cools down. So this I was able, before we had summer, I was able to keep this on the counter just indefinitely and just use the bacon grease anytime I needed it for making eggs or whatever I wanted to cook. So this is great. I'll put it back where it was now. So now we're just waiting for the pizza, and I'll see you in the next segment. Okay, we are gonna pull out that pizza. Okay, here we are. Some nice melty cheese. Everything looks like it's done. Be interesting to see the texture of this no raw egg white bread on the pizza. See how that turned out. I'm just gonna give it a couple minutes to cool off. I think it could have used 1 tablespoon of allulose to get that browning effect. As you can see, this is a white pizza crust. It's like no color. And I do like, I know looks aren't everything. I think somebody said that on the Facebook group. But they are part of what kind of makes the food appealing or not appealing. And I'm certainly going to eat this. But for those of you that like to have it look good too, throw in a tablespoon of allulose. You'll get that those brown edges. But it smells good. So I'm just waiting for it to cool. I had the bacon mayo in the fridge because I wanted to see what the texture would be like. It's been in the fridge for about an hour or so. And yeah, so it does get a little bit harder, like it kind of hardens up. So I think when you use it, you would probably either want to take it out of the fridge, or maybe you could add a little bit more, like maybe a couple of teaspoons of water so that it's a bit thinner when it goes in the fridge, and then it'll be the right consistency. I'm happy with this though. I would definitely use this. And if I took it to work, it would have a chance to soften up. It's good. Like the taste and the flavor, you know, it's nice. I really like it. So that's gonna be great. I would probably use that even for non-carnivore. I mean, the cost to make that compared to the $10 jar I buy sometimes, the keto, I think it's, let me just see what I'm usually buying.
Well, if I can find it in here. Oh, how embarrassing.
Okay, there is so much stuff in my fridge that I literally cannot find the mayonnaise. I think it's Chosen Foods keto mayonnaise, and I like it, but I think I like this better, and it's way cheaper. So yeah, I would continue to make that. It was pretty easy. So I'm gonna try to cut a piece of this. Well, you can pick it up with your hands. That is always a good sign with pizza. I like that in a pizza. I've had so many keto pizzas that you cannot pick up with your hands. You know, cauliflower pizza, zucchini crust pizza. Try picking those up with your hands. You can't. It's terrible. So this is a good sign. Okay, so the pizza is good. The crust is a little bit dry. It will soften up, and I think I might sprinkle a little bit more Italian seasoning on top. And I have to wonder if the allulose does a little bit more than brown, you know, because I made all of these other things the last couple of days. They all were fantastic. Everything that I made without the actual raw egg whites, everything that I made with this water recipe using the same proportions, the only difference is no allulose. And this is a little bit drier than what I would have expected. So, I mean, you know, obviously we're going to eat it, and tomorrow it will soften up a bit. But I'm a little surprised, and I'm going to have to experiment with that. Always an experiment to do. So I'm going to try on my next pizza. I'm going to put in some allulose, like maybe a couple of tablespoons, and see if there's a difference in actual texture. Oh, Teddy's looking at me so patiently. But the pizza itself, I mean, it's pizza, it's cheesy, good flavor on the pepperoni and stuff. So, you know, by all means, I mean, it's going to be pizza for dinner tonight, and we will all enjoy it, right? Okay, so here's the bacon. I made it the way I like it, which is crisp, like it's crunchy. You want to have a demonstration of crunch. This is perfect. And we have our mayo. I'm going to have bacon and egg mayo sandwich tomorrow, I think. I think that's going to be really good. So anyway, so this is going to get me started for the week. I've got eggs in the fridge, bacon, pizza, mayo, plus all kinds of other things you haven't even seen yet. I will be doing a chuck roast tomorrow. I'm going to sous vide it. I'm not sure if I'm going to film that or not. But I also have a sirloin cap, which is amazing. It's the best meat that Costco sells. That I'm going to make and film, because if you have not tried that yet at Costco, it's way, 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 way cheaper than ribeye. I like it even better than ribeye. So I think you need to know about that one. I will make that for you guys. So we'll see you next time. Have a good November.
I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share. Here, hang on, let me give them a piece. Okay. We have bacon. Meal prep. You can leave that last. Try to work with that.